Hi, I'm Simon Carroll. I'm an adjunct professor at the University of Victoria, and I was the research associate for the KISSAT grant, and I'm the principal investigator for this research project. Originally, the KISSAT project, as we call it, which is Knowledge for the Implementation, Scale-Up, Spread, and Sustainability of Assistive Technologies, was a project that Karen and I developed, essentially, working to look to better implement assistive technologies for older adults. When we talk about assistive technologies, we're really talking about any kind of devices or tools that support people to live independently and age well into their older years. So in this project, we really focused in on assistive technologies that enhance communication for older adults. And one of the things that we wanted to sort of focus on was a particular device called CanConnect.
So I'm Robin Syme, and I'm Executive Director for CanAssist at the University of Victoria. We actually created CanConnect, which was the technology along with its custom case that was used and instrumental in making connection. And the start of CanConnect was really around focusing on seniors.
CanConnect is a highly simplified video calling app. There's the version of the app for the seniors, and that runs on dedicated hardware. And there's also the version for those who are connecting with them, which will run on their smartphone or tablet. I'm Paul Green, the engineering manager at CanAssist, and I've led the development of the CanConnect technology. So there's a number of accessibility features that are incorporated into the design of CanConnect. This includes the highly simplified interface for seniors to make and receive calls. There's also the hardware component that the tablet is housed in, and this further restricts access to other features of the tablet, making it single purpose.
So in our project, one of the wonderful things we saw, specifically in the group in Port Hardy at the senior center there, was that they collaborated in the spread and use of a communications technology called CanConnect that enabled them to, particularly in the context of COVID, sustain relationships, important social connections with family members, with other friends, and even supportive services in the community.
Well, hi there. My name is Rosalind Glenn, and I'm the chair of the Hardy Bay Seniors. I figured that seniors who had worked hard all their lives, helped grow this town, deserved to have some kind of place where they could get together, they could socialise, and they could have a good time, and it wouldn't cost them an arm and a leg. That was the goal. But once COVID came, we turned from a social centre into a social services centre. So our role totally evolved into making sure our seniors were safe, they were cared for.
My name is Donna Galt, and I am 76 years old. COVID had just started, and we were all afraid, and everybody was at home, and they were stuck in their homes. Most people here in our community don't have family. They'll have their family all grown up and moved away, so they are alone. Their husbands are gone or their wives are gone, so they're literally alone in their houses.
Hi, I'm Denise Cloutier. I am the principal investigator now on this project. There's a range of physical and mental health disadvantages that might be experienced by rural populations that have something to do with the isolation that they experience and the reduced contacts with family members and friends. Social isolation tends to focus on the number of individuals in our support systems, and loneliness focuses on our perception of the people in our support network.
One of the things I think this project demonstrably was successful in doing was actually helping people within the COVID crisis address issues around social isolation. The senior center itself had identified many of their members that were feeling socially isolated and not able to communicate with the people they wanted to communicate with regularly. And so this project really addressed that need directly. And we had many results and findings that showed that the devices made a big difference to people's sense of belonging and social connection. And I think that's the most important finding.
It was a very, very sad time for us all, and being able to sit in front of the CanConnect and see their faces and chat on a one-to-one, it was very beneficial for me anyway. Made me feel much better about things. When I was feeling depressed or something, then they were always there to to make it much happier for me.
When I had CanConnect, that was really a lifesaver because you could see the people, and at first I thought, oh, I guess I have to dress up in my best clothes every time, but I soon got over that.
Unfortunately, COVID, it wasn't just COVID, because a lot of the seniors tend to go that way in their, their later years. Well, this way, at least they can be more alert. It's important to have some sort of connection with someone you're used to seeing live and in person and on the screen. So they may not be your blood family, but they could be your family, the CanConnect family.
It's a comfort to know that, I'm a part of them and they're a part of me. And just to see them smile and, happy to talk to me, and vice versa, that it's just great to see them happy.
Especially for older adults, there's a lot of worry that I'm not very technologically oriented. I can't use this technology or that technology. And I think that's the barrier that we have to overcome there. That once you try and you see you can and how effective it is, it really prompts greater utilization and then the health promoting benefits.
Well, I was a bit shy about it at first. I mean, a little nervous to push that button. It's amazing. Amazing that you could just press a button and there your friend's face is.
As I'm using it, I realize how easy it is to use, just the big buttons, and the screen is clear, and I can hear it well, better than I can hear on the phone. And there's not that little hesitation as you get when you're using Zoom or something like that. I think anything that makes communication easier is good. It's just like having a visit. Yeah, it's nice.
It was different, but once you started to use it, you didn't want to stop using it. It was so very, 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 very beneficial. I think at first perhaps it was Rosalind that talked me into it, and we were all hesitant, and some of my other friends chose not to join, and I think that's sad on their side of it, because they just really don't know what they're missing, because I enjoy it very, very much so.
One of the interesting findings in the Port Hardy group was that not only did they feel confident with the particular device, but of course it gives them more general confidence with technology. One of the things that we have to focus on when we're doing participatory research and community-based research is sometimes we think the only people that need to be involved are community members. But in fact, really, in order to make these things work, you need community members, researchers, policymakers, and practitioners all involved together to come up with solutions. Quite often policymakers are not moved by dry academic research results, but are moved by the stories of their community members, people that they're representing.
Hi, my name is Monik Sani, and I work for the Ministry of Health in Health Technology Assessment, and I'm the principal knowledge user on this grant. So interacting with the wonderful community members in Port Hardy was really eye-opening for me. Collaborative research projects are a great way for us in government to understand what community preferences are. We have one priority dedicated to providing greater community supports for seniors to keep them aging in place longer and reducing strain on the acute care system.
They want to feel comfortable and safe in their home. And that's the biggest thing that I'm so, and they feel like they've accomplished something. They're looking after themselves rather than going to the institution.
There is a big policy emphasis on aging in place, and these technologies like the CanConnect really assist and help community dwelling older persons to do that. And if we can help people to stay in their homes for as long as possible, that's where they want to be. And that's where the health system doesn't want them in institutional settings, and they don't want to be there either.
If a senior was able to have a CanConnect or a mechanism of some sort, in this case, the government could give them one-time money to buy it and then to set it up and then giving them that extra $60 a month for Wi-Fi, for the ones that don't have Wi-Fi. Just like you would do anybody else. And I promise you, policymakers, we could stay in our homes a lot longer.
And it needs to become more important because we're all aging.
We need to start thinking about how do we actually have social investments. In other words, not relying on people's ability to pay in order to access these new technologies, but providing some of these services free at the point of use, or at least at a very reduced price, to ensure that people have equitable access.
If you're giving us something, then we want it. I mean, we're the end of the road when you look. We don't seem to get top of the line from the government. We don't seem to get the top of the line in the way of our healthcare, for sure. But this has been something that is really special to Port Hardy. That a CanConnect is a positive impact in a senior's life, and every senior should be given one at the expense of our health minister.
I think with Port Hardy, we've really only scratched the surface in the sense of this project, but we have seen how important social connections can be and how they've been facilitated through CanConnect. And it's an opening to look at more ways of promoting health and preventing illness. And the Port Hardy community members are just so ready and sponge-like for the opportunities and potentials of this. And if that's how it is in Port Hardy, I know that that's how it is in many other rural and remote communities. And so it just feels like the beginning of something quite profound and wonderful if we could keep moving it forwards.